Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or if you're a returning viewer, hi, thank you so much for coming back by to hang out with me today. So today's video, I have a lot of newness, or maybe not a lot of newness, but I have some newness. I have some Danessa Myricks goodies, I have the new Kaleidos Escape Pod palette, I have a new little contour palette, some Patrick Ta. I've got some stuff that I want to share with you guys today. So this is going to be a first impressions video, not a review. I do have a couple products in here that I've been using for a while that I will specify that it's a review. So if you're not already subscribed to my channel, make sure you do that before you leave this video today. Hit the notification bell while you're at it. That way you don't miss any of my future uploads. And let's get into the video. All right, so to start this thing off, I want to put down a primer that I'm familiar with, a primer that I know works well for me. So I'm going to use the Dr. Brandt Pores No More primer. This is not one that, like, we're testing out today. This is one I use a lot in my everyday wear. I do have oily skin, and this helps to keep my makeup on for the better part of the day. So that's what we're going to do first. So we're going to be trying out the Danessa Myricks Cream Cover Foundation today. What's really cool about this is that on her website, you have the option of choosing sample sizes. I truly wish that all brands would do that. How cool would that be? If you didn't have to spend $50 or even $20 on a foundation when you can just get a sample size and see if it's actually going to work for you first. So this foundation is supposed to be a foundation and a concealer like in one. So you can pay $5 to get a little sample bottle of this foundation, which I think is such a smart idea. So it's 2.5 milliliters. Let me just show you. This is how, it's about as big as my pinky here. This almost reminds me of like a little concealer, to be honest with you, because it's got a little doe foot. And I like the fact that it only costs $5 because you can pick up several different shades and not be out a lot of money doing that. So I grabbed two because I really didn't know what shade I was going to need. The ones I grabbed were 2.75 and 2. Okay, so 2 and 2.75. So when I'm looking at the tones of these right off the top, I'm thinking that neither one of these is going to be like the proper tone for me. So I'm probably going to have to end up mixing these together, which is fine. Now to do that, I also have the new BK Beauty 101 brush. I will tell you, this will be an actual review of this brush today. I have been using this brush for the past week. I really wanted to get a feel for it before I came on here and told you guys my thoughts on it. I didn't want to just use it once because I think it is really important, especially when it comes to brushes, to try something out with different formulas, different textures before you give a full opinion on it. I really like this brush, which is odd because I normally don't like brushes that aren't like really dense up top, and this is a little bit more fluffy up here than I would typically gravitate towards. Like it's dense here, but on the angle it's super fluffy. But it doesn't leave streaks. It blends my foundation in very nicely. So that's what I'm going to be using today for this foundation. All right, so I don't even know. Ooh, that's like rose scented. That's odd. I wasn't expecting that. If this oxidizes, it's going to be way too dark. That's not the right shade, is it? Ooh, that goes a long way. That is pigmented, my friends. I just wanted to see if I could shade match that. I think mixing the two is going to be the way to go, because I think that's a pretty, it's close. It's not exact. It's not perfect, but it's going to have to work. I'm just still going to do like a swipe of each, because that seems to be the perfect mixture here. I don't know if this is going to be the right brush for this foundation. I've only used this brush so far with like more liquidy foundations. This is more of like a cream formula. It's pretty thick. Wow. I definitely covered a lot. You can see the redness it covered up if you compare this side to this side. It definitely lays down very quickly. Like I would say you need to work with this pretty fast. It's a little stiff getting it to mix, I will tell you that, to getting it to like blend out. I feel like I'm yelling. Am I yelling? I'm sorry. I don't mean to yell at you guys. So I'm contemplating using that lighter shade as my concealer because I think it would work nice that way, but I'm a little scared because this stuff is so thick and it's pretty matte. Let's just try it. Let's use our You gonna use your fingers? You gonna help me out? I feel like it's not gonna take much. Okay. Wow. That definitely has good coverage, I will say that. I'm kind of impressed with that, actually. Okay, so the critique I have so far is that this is a very heavy coverage. It's heavy feeling as well. And I feel like if you have a lot of wrinkles, if you have a lot of like deep set lines, this is really going to settle in those lines. So you want to use a minimal amount of product. And I feel like maybe I went in a little too heavy on the forehead and around the smile lines. And it is clinging to some weird patches here under my eyes that I'm not used to happening. So there's that. I think what I'm going to have to do is fix up the concealer under my eyes with some Bye Bye Under Eye. You guys guessed it, didn't you? How'd you know? Whoops. I just squirted, literally, this is probably enough for like a whole month of makeup looks. That is such a waste. Well, that's disappointing. Can I suck it back in the tube? I was gonna say that's what she said, but that wouldn't make any sense. Vacuum it up off my arm. All right, let's fix these under eyes because I don't like that as an under eye concealer. Alrighty then, that looks a little crazy. I also picked up the Vanity Makeup. What is this called? The Sculpt and Glow palette. So this is her like contour palette, and I have mine in the shade Fair. She does have, I believe, 2 or 3 different palettes like this. That way they can suit different skin tones. That's how it should be. But I am in love with this contour shade right here. This contour shade is the absolute perfect for my skin tone. It doesn't look like bronzer. It doesn't look like some orangey Oompa Loompa cast on my face. It looks like contour. It looks like a shadow, and that's how it's supposed to look. So, really excited about this palette, and I've been using the contour shade quite a bit. Now, the other 2 shades... Oh, I stabbed it. Can't have nothing nice. Now, the other 2 shades, we have like a lightening shade here, and then we have a highlighter here. I haven't played with either of those yet. I literally just used the contour shade. And I grabbed this on the recommendation of Alexandra Anel. If you don't know who Alexandra Anel is, you've never watched her channel, and you want to learn more about how to do makeup, like technique and that stuff, you need to go watch her. She is a certified makeup artist, and she knows what the hell she's talking about. She's very good, very knowledgeable, and you'll learn a lot by watching her. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that contour shade with my Chikuhodo GSN 5 brush. I love using this brush for contouring because it's got like this tapered head on it, and it works well for that reason. I don't know if I've used this on my channel yet or not. I feel like I have. Or maybe I filmed a video and intended on using it on my channel and then never uploaded, because I do that quite frequently. If I'm not happy with a video that I film, I just don't upload it. You know how many hours I've wasted doing that? A lot. Unfortunately. I'm just putting it down here to create that shadow, to give me that, like, sculpted cheekbone look. It's not for everybody. Not everybody likes it. That's okay. It's what I like. Okay, so I finished up with the cheekbones, a little bit down the nose there. I also have the Patrick Ta blush, and I really would like to try this out as well. I did want to put down a little bit of the Fenty Cream Bronzer. Mine's in the shade Butter Biscuit. I'm going to just place that on the higher points of my cheekbones. I'm sorry if the hair's everywhere today. It's just a mess. Alright, so now we're going to dip into another product. This is the Nikkia Joy Velvet Finishing Powder. So I grabbed this sometime during the beginning of the pandemic. I really don't remember. I heard other people like raving about it, and I was like, you know what? Let's try it. Because I've only heard like a couple people really hype it up, and no one else talks about it. So when I got mine, it's got a crack in the little lid right here. So I've got powder literally everywhere. It was a fun time when I took it out of the box. So that kind of sucks, but it's not her fault. I mean, it did come from Australia, so had a long trip here. I'm going to take my Sonia G Face Pro Brush. This is currently one of my favorite, like, face powder brushes. It just does such a good job buffing powder on. Alright, let's start buffing. I have not used this yet either. This is an interesting product. It smells like vanilla. I think it even says it has vanilla in it. I'm getting some sort of like nostalgia using this. It smells like something and I can't place my finger on it. You know how there's like kid toys and kid products that smell like vanilla? Like little plastic cakes and stuff that kids play with? That's what it smells like, that smell. Like an artificial vanilla, but it smells really good. It's kind of taking me back. Man, just like the Fenty powder goes right up your nose. Ooh, I gotta be honest, I like the way that smoothed my face. Okay, Nikkia Joy. Now, I know Nikkia Joy has oily skin like I do, which is another reason why I really wanted to try this powder, because I figured if she's coming out with a powder with her brand and she's got oily skin, it's probably going to be really good for oily skin. I don't know. I like the way this looks. I hope it helps my makeup last longer. It looks really smooth. Okay, just because I feel like I lost some of the intensity of that bronzer when I powdered, I am going to take the Milani Silky Matte Bronzer. This is in the shade Sunlight. It's the lightest shade they have, and I'm just going to kind of put a little bit of that back on to bring back the bronzeness. So the Patrick Ta blush that I have, this is his new like duo, so it's got a cream and a powder. And this one is in the shade Do We Know Her? And I have used the powder before, but I have not used the cream. It's got a little divider here to keep the cream from getting dirty with the powder. And it's such a beautiful color. Like this really like bright corally pinky. It's gorgeous. And I just don't know. I don't know if I want to do that. I'm scared. I don't know if I want to put cream over top of this powder. I have a feeling it's going to pick it up. I believe he says to put the powder blush down first and then top it with the cream. And to me, that just like defies all laws of like makeup technique. You know what I mean? Like putting a cream over top of a powder. And not that I'm a makeup artist, so maybe makeup artists do that. I don't know. But it scares the shit out of me because I don't usually do that. So I'm going to use the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill, the JH6 brush. I like using this for blush because it's very loose up top. So when you have a blush that's really pigmented, this is a good brush to use. That way you don't end up with like, bam, crazy color on your cheeks. Now, if I was using a powder blush that was not as pigmented, this brush wouldn't do me any good because I would be dipping it over and over again. But for this one, I think this will work nicely. And we're just going to start it here. Ooh, gotta be careful. I kind of get out of control real quick with it. And I like to blend it like up into my hairline. I don't know why. I just do. I'm a little afraid if I put that cream on top, it's going to be way too much. Got so much powder in my contacts right now. Can't be healthy. I think I might skip the cream for now. We're going to have to do the cream on another day because it's already really bright. I'm not trying to look completely insane today. So I'm just going to be using like my normal brow products, which consists of the Benefit Gimme Brow, the Brow Gal Brow Pencil, and then I also use the Urban Decay Brow Blade. And then when I get them on, I'll be back. And then we will jump into the eyeshadow palette. Okay, now that I've got the brows on, makes a huge difference putting a little bit of eyebrows on, doesn't it? I want to go ahead and play with the Kaleidos Escape Pod palette. So excited to play with this. I've seen everybody else that I follow create beautiful eye looks with this. It's got a lot of stunning, bright, just fun colors in here. A lot of the like glittery topper shades or whatever you want to call them. They're just gorgeous. I have swirled my fingers in here just because I wanted to feel them. I wanted to see if they were opaque shimmers or if they were a little more see-through, and it seems like most of these are topper shades, but regardless, this is such a beautiful palette and I'm so excited to play with it. So for the base on my lids, I either want to use the P. Louise base or the ABH primer, and I don't know which one's going to be better. I feel like I want to try P. Louise and let's just see what happens. All right, I'm going to do one eye at a time just to be safe because I feel like this will stick better to a tacky base. Maybe I'm wrong. We're going to find out. I'm going to take that really beautiful shade called Exoplanet. I feel like everybody has been using this too. It's just so pretty. I'm not going to do a bunch of different looks today because I have other videos I want to film, but I just want to get a feel for these and just see what I think about it. I can always do more looks in the future. So I'm going to take that shade. I think I want to do like a halo eye situation. I'm going to take my Worker Pro brush from Sonia G. I really love this brush for laying down pigment because it does such a fantastic job. And we're going to pick up Exoplanet. Start packing the... Whoa. Wow. What are you doing? Do you see my cat tapping me on the shoulder? What are you doing? Well, honey. He always wants attention when I'm filming. As soon as I start filming, he needs to have all the love. Mommy loves you. Alright, so I'm going to take my Sigma blending brush. This is an E36. Just to attempt to kind of blend around the edges there a little bit with the shade Soiree, which is this really beautiful, like, lighter purple shade. Because I don't know what else I would blend this dark... I don't even know what this shade is. Dark Periwinkle? I don't know what I would blend that out with. So I'm just going to try to, like, ever so slightly and just see what happens. This is such a beautiful shade, though. I really like this. What are you doing? Wait. What are you doing? Hi. Now we need to blend out the edges. I think I'm going to use the same brush just to blend out the edges a little bit. I will tell you I've had no fallout while doing this, which is pretty incredible. I'm going to take the Sigma blending brush. This is the E36. And I'm going to dip into that shade Soiree. It's that lighter purple that I showed you earlier. And I'm going to attempt to blend that out a little bit. Alright, I don't know if I'm exactly thrilled with the way this looks, but I really don't want to have to restart it. So I think what I'm going to do... I'm just winging it at this point, okay? I'm going to take the Tarte Shape Tape and a very small concealer brush. And we are going to carve out this bad boy. See what happens. I'm going to use the more, like, lighter of the greens, and that one is Galactic Gala. That one's this one up top. The one on the bottom is more of, like, a grungier type of green. Not really, but if I had to pick out of the two, it is. Is it going to stick to this? Cool. I mean, that's different, alright. I'm gonna try to pack up this darker blue around it, I guess. I don't think it's gonna get a whole lot better than that, guys. I'm going to repeat that on the other eye. I'm going to smoke some colors out on the lower lash line. I'm going to show you another new product that I'm going to use on the inner corner as a highlight. Not really sure how I feel about it. It's not exactly even. I'm not very good at doing the whole halo eye thing, and I really do need more practice, which is why I just went ahead and went for it today. I do like the shimmers. The shimmers are beautiful. Very pigmented, very shiny. Give me that wow factor that I like in a shimmer shadow, so I like that. I'm excited to play around with this palette some more. What I'm going to do now is I have some other shadows that I got in today from Terra Moons, and I want to pick from those to come up with my inner corner highlight because I got some absolutely out of this world amazing shadows today. I swatched them. And it made me go to their no, I'm not joking. After I swatched this particular set of eyeshadows, I immediately stopped what I was doing, jumped back on their website, and I was going to order the rest of that collection. But the pre-order isn't going to be shipping out until like August, and I just don't feel like waiting that long. So I didn't do it, but they're Iridescent Chameleons, I believe is what they're called. And it's the same set of eyeshadows that the shade Red Giant comes in, which is like the one that everybody raves about from Terra Moons. It's the one that like, it's clear, but it shifts like a really beautiful pinky red. The other shades in that line are absolutely incredible. They're stunning. All right, I gotta decide what shade to use. So this one is called Lunar Spectrum. It just looks white. So it only shows up in certain lighting. Like I can see it over here. Oh, I wish it would just show up so you could see it. I'm going to use that as my inner corner highlight. So pretty. I have two Adept palettes. If you don't know who Adept Cosmetics is, if you've never seen their magnetic palettes and you're somebody looking for like empty magnetic palettes, they literally have the absolute best magnetic palettes. I've got two of these bad boys and it holds a lot. These are all my sparkly, gorgeous, shiny, out of this world, like, shades. We're going to have a video about those soon, but I'm waiting on another order. So I'm going to take the shade Lunar Spectrum on just a little tiny eyeshadow brush. This is a brush that I got off Amazon. And I'm going to place that in the inner corner. See, there it's showing up pink. I don't even care. When I swatch it, it's green. But when I apply it, it's pink. It's still stunning. Love that so much. I'm on this whole like sparkly, out of this world shiny eyeshadow kick. I want them all. I'm not going to stop until I have every single one of them. Okay, so before I tap the lines out, I want you to see what's going on my forehead. Do you see how deep those lines are on my forehead? How much it's settled? Now, I'm a very expressive person, so you guys will always see me on here like this, and I talk the entire time like this because I'm expressive. And when I do that, all the foundation and the powder that's on my forehead and the oils that are starting to create, they end up in those smile lines. So I'm going to attempt to tap out those smile lines, and we're going to see what it looks like. I mean, I think that was fairly easy to get most of that, but you can still see the wrinkles in my forehead. I mean, foundation doesn't erase wrinkles. Okay, so this is where we're at after the eye look is totally done. I've got my lashes on. I use the Benefit Roller Lash, and then I use the Essence Princess waterproof version on the bottom. I also used the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Cry Baby, which is a shade I use quite often, honestly, because it's like a light lilac shade. That's that. What else? I think that's all I did. So now, I don't know how this is going to turn out because I'm already looking like I'm from outer space with the colors. But we're going to take the Danessa Myricks Enlight powder, and this one is in the shade Angel Wings. So this is like a really beautiful, like orangey shade. It's like glittery. It's glittery. I wasn't really expecting that when I bought it. I was looking for more or less just like a highlighter, like a glowy highlight. This looks like glitter. So we're going to put glitter on my cheeks. We'll let you know what I think about it. Whee! Okay, so to apply the highlighter, I'm going to use my Complex Culture highlighter brush. This is one that I got from Ipsy when I was still an Ipsy member. And I really like all the brushes that I've gotten from Complex Culture. And it is an in-house Ipsy brand. I think they did a good job with their brushes. So let's see what this highlighting powder does, and then we'll go on to the lips, and I'll tell you what I think about these products. I'm a little nervous. So my face is a little oily. That means it's going to stick. We've been working on the face for quite a while now. Okay. This is not what I was expecting. Wow, I'm looking all kinds of... I was going to say ethereal. I don't think that's the word I would use for this. Ooh, buddy. Can y'all see that? Please tell me you see that. This reminds me a lot of the Artist Couture Diamond Glow Powder in Purple Dream. Except for this one doesn't really shift purple. It shifts, it's like orange and it shifts like pink. Super pretty. We're just living my full alien fantasy right here. So this is the finished look after I put lips on. So I used the KKW Beauty Lip Liner in 0.5 Nude. I really like this shade in particular because it goes well with my skin tone. It's a nude for me. And then I topped it off with the... Oh god, that's dirty. Ratchet. I topped it off with the Lunar Beauty Lip Gloss in Starlight. Love this. I love the way it feels on the lips. It's a perfect nude shade for me. Looks glossy, doesn't feel uncomfortable and heavy and sticky. I just love it. And this is the crazy look. What do you guys think? I want to know. Leave your feedback down below. Let's dive into my thoughts on these products. So my first impression of the Danessa Myricks Vision Cream Cover Foundation is that it's very heavy, it's a very thick cream. It reminds me more of a heavy concealer than it does a foundation. When you put it on, you have to work very quickly or it dries down fast, very fast. It will settle in your lines. The pore situation was a little weird up here. It's like it didn't fill in my pores, which is weird because the primer I have on usually does that for me. So I don't know why I had such an issue with that. It's not awful. It's just like this little spot here where I have like 6 pores that are just peeking out and saying hello. I'm not sure why. It does smell like roses very strongly. So if you're very sensitive to scent, I would skip on these. I don't hate it. I just don't like... I don't think it's wearing the greatest on me, but it could be a lot worse. It could be completely breaking down by now, and it's not doing that. Actually, it's not breaking down at all, which is surprising. Because I've had this makeup on now for about 4 hours, and usually by this mark, my oils are really starting to break things down. So It's not breaking things down per se, but you can definitely see that I'm starting to get oily. I can see it here. I can feel and see it here. Oh yeah. I did powder the shit out of my face with that Nikkia Joy powder too though, so that might have something to do with the lasting power on this. It's not awful. This is definitely not the worst foundation I've ever tried. The Nikkia Joy powder, I really like this. I think it did a really fantastic job smoothing my entire face. I feel like I had to use a lot of it though. Like I can go in with a pretty light layer of like my Huda Beauty setting powder or my Fenty setting powder, and it's pretty much set, ready to go. With this, I had to go over my face and over my face like numerous times for it to feel like it was set. Could have something to do with the foundation too, so regardless, I really like this. I'm excited to have it, and I can't wait to keep using it in the future. The Patrick Ta Blush Duo. I love this. I just wish that I would have tried the cream, but I feel like if I had, it would have made a freaking mess. Like, I didn't want to sabotage my makeup look. I didn't want to do that today. But I really love the powder formula in here. It is super silky, applies really beautifully to the skin, and I'm excited to try the cream, so love this. The Escape Pod from Kaleidos. I really like this. I mean, just from what I've used so far, you have to be careful so you don't blend the pigment away when you're blending. But I mean, look at this pigmentation. It did a fantastic job. I'm excited to try this over a different base to see what kind of payoff I get. But I like this, and I'm glad that I have it, and I'm excited to keep using it in the future. My BK Beauty 101 foundation brush. I really like this. This surprised me because of how loosely packed it is up here. It's not so much down here, but up here it is. It surprised me that this didn't leave like a bunch of streaks on my face. That's what I was expecting from this the first few times I used it. And then once I used it a few times, I was like, oh, you can stipple it in with this, with like the more packed edge here, or you can kind of buff a little bit with the more loose end. So I really like this. I'm excited to use it with different foundations. And I do have other brushes from BK Beauty as well. I have 2 eye brushes that I need to review still. I just haven't used them enough to give a solid review on them, so I just wanted to speak on this one today. But I do like this. The Enlight powder by Danessa Myricks. I like this. I just don't know if this was the right highlight for this particular look. But I do like it. Even though it's like glittery, I don't think it's emphasizing my texture like at all. It's just super glowy, but I like that. I would be interested in trying maybe a lighter shade, or a shade that's not so, like, crazy. Not crazy, but more of a neutral shade if she has one like that. I don't think she has a neutral shade, though, because I looked for it, and that's why I grabbed this one, but you know, in the future, maybe that's something I'll grab up. All right, so that's going to wrap up this video, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I always love hearing from you guys. I love having our little conversations in the comments section, so please leave me your feedback and thoughts down below. I really enjoy hearing from you. If you're not already subscribed to my channel and you're liking my content, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Ring the notification bell, that way you don't miss any of my future uploads, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.